All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. And welcome to Atlanta City Hall. Welcome to the People's House. I say good afternoon. It's good morning. It's 11 o'clock. It feels like afternoon. My day has been going. But good morning, everybody, and welcome to City Hall. This is the People's House. I'm so grateful and glad that all of you have come out to join us today. This is an exciting day. This is an exciting time. To all of the city council members that I see here, all of my executive team and all of the administration that's here, to the APS leaders, to our school board members, these great, fabulous nonprofits. I see the business community here. I see all of you. I see youth in here. This is exciting. This is what the whole village looked like. 2023 is going to be a big year here in the city of Atlanta. I am excited just thinking about what we are indeed about to embark upon. I will be challenging you this year greatly. We're going to be shooting for the moon and not just some random stars, but the payoff of all this hard work this year is going to be immeasurable. This year, 2023 is going to be the year of the youth in Atlanta. Let's go. That's right. 2023 is the year of the youth in Atlanta. And so a quick story here that I want you to never get tired of hearing, and I want you to repeat it and share it. The Maasai people of Kenya, they have an interesting way of greeting each other. They greet each other and they say, Kaserian Angara, which means, how are the children? That's how they greet each other. They say, how are the children? And the traditional response is, all the children are well. The Maasai people were some of the world's most fearsome warriors. They are legendary. Yet above all else, children are their priority. Because the Maasai understood that if the children are well, the entire village is well. To this day, they greet each other in that most common greeting of the Maasai people. So doesn't that send a very powerful message? Doesn't that send a very powerful message? Imagine if that's how we start to greet each other in Atlanta. If I see you and I say, how are the children? If I see you and I say, how are the children? And our response is, all the children are well. 2 weeks ago, I spoke during Dr. King's commemorative service at Ebenezer Baptist Church, and I proclaimed then that 2023 is Atlanta's Year of the Youth, and we want to have everyone engaged in this endeavor. Everyone who lives here, everyone who does business here, everyone that even travels here can help support the ATL Year of the Youth. We want to highlight all of the great academic programs that are right here in Atlanta. We want to offer experiences that allow our young people to explore careers here in Atlanta. And we want to highlight all of the cultural cornerstones that make up this mosaic that we call Atlanta. Our children represent the best of who we are, and I want our city to be the most awesome place for them to grow up. So before I turn it over to my team and our partners, I want to tell you just something else. Last year, with our partners, we invested over $4 million in young people through our Summer Youth Employment Program. $4 million in just one program, and that's what we did to hire over 3,000 youth last summer, paying them an average salary of $16 an hour, 3,000 plus youth in this city. We offered internships, summer jobs across the entire city. We had apprenticeships where young people were able to be paid to learn a trade and then placed in employment thereafter. Even for the younger children, we had STEM programming and really fun camps that they received stipends for completing. Stipends. These kids want money. Y'all see them, you know they want money. So we pay them to work, we pay them for camps. We want to make sure they have a great field summer. Last year, I visited elementary schools, I visited middle schools and high schools, and spoke directly to students across this country. In fact, some of my friends from Burgess Peters Academy are here. Wave your hand, say what's up. Okay, some of them are here. So Dr. Herring, I hope you give them a excused absence today and make sure they count this as a field trip. Don't count them absent. Atlanta, I'm here to announce that this year we're going to be even bigger than we were last year. We want to support even more of Atlanta's young people. I have a clear vision to ensure that Atlanta is the best place in the nation to raise a child. That's right. So last year I said that at 404 Day at the State of the City last April, I said I wanted Atlanta to be the best place to raise a child. Little did I know that by the end of the year, Money Magazine would say that Atlanta is the best place to live in the nation, and that Bloomberg would say that Atlanta has more going on for it than any other city in this nation. But I was determined and sure that we couldn't say that this was the best place just yet to raise a child until we all put in on this group project. And so this vision is clear. And the mission is to systematically remove all barriers so that Atlanta's young people can thrive. So this is me leaning in and also leaning on each of you. It's the year of the youth, and we're starting with the youngest of all of us. We know that we must start early, engaging our youngest residents and families who take care of them. So our partners at Gears are here, and they're managing the $20 million Early Childhood Education Initiative, and that initiative is almost fully funded. $20 million was the goal, and we're almost there. The early childhood investment includes micro grants for capital improvements, literacy training for parents and educators, and support for classified workers that are dealing with our 0 to 3 population. Infancy matters to this administration. We don't just start at K through 12. Infancy matters, and that's why we put resources towards that. APS is here, and you'll hear from Dr. Herring in a few moments, and she has her board members here, and a lot of her leadership team is here. APS staff and parents are working really, really hard to make sure that every student graduates ready for college, career, and life. And we already got a head start. Last year, APS announced that they had an 84% graduation rate. That's the highest it's ever been. Shout out to APS. I didn't teach one child, but I'm taking credit. When you start standing in this seat, you start taking credit for everything. 84% is on me and you, Dr. Herring. Thank you. John Hope Bryant is here from Operation Hope, and his team is supporting APS by expanding the Child Savings Account Program, which he'll tell you more about. It's a Child Savings Account Program that started with my predecessor, Keisha Lansbottom, and now we're upping it up even more as we go forward, and he'll tell you about that. But students can't learn if they went to bed hungry night after night after night. How do we solve for food insecurity? Well, our friends at Gooder are here, and they're partnering with us to ensure that Atlanta's children have some healthy food options. And so we want our children to be healthy. We want them, we can clap for that. We want our children to be healthy. I see Choices back there too, we work with them too. We want our children to be healthy, want them to be safe, we want them to be smart, we want them to make sure that they are skilled, and we also want them to have self-agency and self-esteem. So I know that you're thinking, and what will the children do when they leave school after the bell rings? What's going on in after school? Well, I'm glad you asked. We're creating a collaboration of after-school program providers, and they will provide safe spaces and programming for Atlanta's youth at low to no cost. Our parks and recreation centers are going to be open, partnering with Boys and Girls Clubs, YMCA, the At Promise Center, and revving up programming with other nonprofits that are all with us here today. Thank you all for being here, because after school also matters when your parents are still working and kids need a safe space to be in. As you see, with all of us here today, that it's true that I don't draw lines, I draw circles. I like to draw circles to bring people in. And as this circle keeps getting bigger, since I've sworn in just a year ago, this circle is getting bigger and bigger and bigger till that day that we can say all the children are well. So before we move on, we did have one challenge that we couldn't solve. How do we empower the community-based organizations that are already on the ground doing the right work and removing barriers for our children? There's so many wonderful nonprofits. I just see each and every last one of you, and you're already doing work. You're already engaged. You already have a dedicated student population that you're serving. Well, that's why my good friend Nancy Flake Johnson, the CEO of the Urban League of Greater Atlanta, is here. Last year, I created the Youth Development Grant Program with these fine folks right here, and Urban League joined us to serve as the program administrator. So just last week, like Thursday of last week, I personally handed Nancy Flake Johnson a check for $1 million. And that $1 million, that's right, clap for $1 million. I think that was my first time actually holding $1 million. So I handed her a check for $1 million. And that check is for you to distribute to these nonprofits that are already on the ground doing that work. And that's those folks that have applied through our youth development grants. And so now we're going to see those things roll out. Nancy's team is also providing them orientation and technical training for the first cohort of grant recipients. Those organizations are represented here today. Please stand up so you'll be recognized. Soccer in the Streets. The Boyce L. Ansley School, that's a school for homeless youth. Agape Community Center, they're around here somewhere. 3D Girls Incorporated. Raising Expectations, Tangent Maria. Barack and Michelle Obama Elementary School, PTA. And the Noble Truth Project. It's somewhere around here. All right. Thank you all for being here, and you just received. So you won something. You won the grant. You're gonna get your money in a minute when Nancy cashes the $1 million check. Then she sends it over to y'all, and then you get your technical assistance. Congratulations on being the first cohort of the Youth Development Grant Program. And so Atlanta, in this Year of the Youth, we will announce Cycle 2 and then Cycle 3 grant awards in the upcoming weeks. So we just announced Cycle 1. Now we're going to get Cycle 2 and Cycle 3 are coming up very, very soon. I just gave these guys a real good lecture on getting it done, get it out the hands, get the money out your hands, get it into these people's hands. This circle keeps expanding, guys. This circle keeps expanding. I've told you a bit about my vision, and I've mentioned just a few of my partners on how will they lean in. What will you do for our young people to help make this group project a success? What will you do to make this group project a success? I want to make Atlanta the best city in the country to raise a child, and in order to make that dream happen, we need everyone working with us and working together so that we can all affirm that all the children are well, just like the Messiah people say. Now I'm going to turn this over to my team. My senior advisor, Courtney English, is the executive sponsor of the ATL Year of the Youth. Courtney, please come and take it away. Thank you. I forgot to mention that this came about because of my 100 years. I forgot one thing to mention. You going to mention it? I forgot to mention that we got Jennifer Keenan and Lisa Cunningham, and these folks were with me in the very beginning of last year in my 100-day transition team, and it's their idea, this Year of the Youth, because they were taking notes from what I was saying we wanted to do, and they said, well, we just need to make the first year, 2023, the Year of the Youth. So thank you guys for that. I don't come up with these ideas on my own. I steal a few, and I put it out. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Jennifer, for all your support and everybody that gave in and supported that transition team. Thank you.
Let's give our mayor a round of applause, please. Good morning, everybody. How are y'all? Y'all all right? You all look fantastic. It is a pleasure and an honor to be with you all this morning. We're going to get the program, we're going to keep it going, but I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you, as a former student, teacher in APS, as a former board member and board chair in APS, that it matters when you have a mayor who wraps their arms around our children. It matters when you have a mayor who doesn't just look across the street at our school system and say, that's their problem over there, right? It matters when you have a mayor who's from Adamsville who graduated from Atlanta Public Schools. It matters when you have a mayor who attended Mays High School. I won't hold that against him. I love him to death. I went to Doug, in case you all confused. But it matters because I will also say this, that hadn't always been the case. And I'm just talking about what I'm talking about. It matters when you have a mayor that stands up and says, hey, for these young people, for all the challenges and barriers and systemic issues they face, I got that. So that Dr. Herring, my friend Ishay Collins, her board chair, all the teachers of Atlanta Public Schools can walk into a classroom and do what they need to do without worrying about food or healthcare or transportation. That matters. That matters. Guys, I just mentioned I was a teacher in APS, and I share this story often, and I'll try to share it as quickly as possible, but I thought I was a pretty good teacher. And I was given a lesson one day on the Inca and Aztec and thought I was doing my thing. I mean, I'm going, I got some kids engaged. I'm jumping around the classroom like a maniac, and kids are shouting out answers. And I got one kid in the back of the classroom who's going absolutely berserk. I mean, he's going berserk. And finally, I say, well, look, man, you're going to have to holler at me for a second because you are completely disrupting the classroom. And so I pulled him out of the class, and I just said, look, man, like, what's up? Like, what's really going on? At 12 years old, this young man looked at me and said, Mr. English, I like you, but whatever you're teaching in this classroom isn't going to help me feed my sister tonight. 12 years old, this young man was the head of his household. He had witnessed his father murdered. His mom had some addiction issues, and he was effectively running his household. That harsh truth struck me like a ton of bricks, because as good of a teacher as I thought I was, at least, I had no answer for the issues that he faced, because the issues that he faced existed outside of my scope of responsibility. And so what we're ultimately trying to do with the Year of the Youth is face those harsh truths in the city. Face those harsh truths that our children face every single day. Face those harsh truths and remove each and every one of those barriers, not now, not just now, but well into the future. That's why we're here. And that's what all of you represent, because there's some truth tellers in this room. There's some hope dealers in this room. Atlanta's favorite son, Dr. Martin Luther King, said, I cannot be what I ought to be unless you are what you ought to be. Our mayor can't be what he ought to be unless we are what we ought to be. And so now is the time that we wrap our arms around those young people. We remove those barriers. We face those harsh truths. But we do it together. Because make no mistake, there's nothing wrong with this city that can't be solved by what's right with this city. And everybody in this room represents what's right with this city. So I love y'all. I look forward to working with you and partnering with you. As I bring up my friend Lisa Herring, the superintendent of APS, let's get this done. Let's love on our young people. Let's go. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm sorry, it's a great morning. Good morning. Good morning. To my dear friend, Courtney English, to Janine, and of course to our mayor, Mayor Andre Dickens. Could you please join me in applause? Join me in applause because as the very proud superintendent of Atlanta Public Schools, in partnership with my board chairwoman Ishay Collins, members of the Atlanta Public Schools Board of Education, if you are in the room, please raise your hand so that you too can be acknowledged. And members, I see you, Katie. I saw Cynthia as well. Want to make certain that I acknowledge you, as well as members of the Atlanta Public Schools Administration. For the nearly 50,000 scholars who cannot be in the room with us, and the 6,000 employees who are a part of the Atlanta Public Schools workforce. Mayor, the preacher's kid in me has to do this for us to echo the practice of what we will be doing by the close of 2023. So a little call and response, if you will. I will say it, you will repeat it. I will say it again, you will repeat it, and then I'll take my last 60 seconds and push in on how we will do it. Here's what you will repeat. All the children are well.
All the children are well.
Again, we can do better. All the children are well.
All the children are well.
Our mayor has put us on notice in joining that notice that when we ask, how are the children, and we name that all the children are well, I'm also very clear that that requires the commitment of all of us in the room. And in this room, we sit not because we just want to embrace and circle around the year of the youth in 2023, but we sit because at one point in our own lives, we have been children. We sit because we have children that we must champion, protect, and in the space of Atlanta Public Schools, that we must educate. And we do not take that lightly. And Mayor Dickens, on behalf of the board, the 50,000 scholars we serve, and the 6,000 employees, we appreciate that you have named clearly that we cannot do this work alone. In our partners exist. I want to name all of you, run through this room in my sneakers and give you high fives because you have moved into that gap. You have done that especially in such a way that we've needed you now more than ever. And in the space of 2023, the year of the youth, where the public school system considers every year the year of the youth, but never alone, in the space that 2023 says that as we champion all of our children as a part of the year of the youth, we will have partners who will commit to making certain that every school in Atlanta Public Schools has a corporate partner. We will have partners like Operation Hope who invest not just in our children, but our families, and who will change the trajectory of their lives. And I'll let you talk about that, my dear friend, John Hope Bryant. That's right, and in our 150 years of doing this work, my mayor said in the 150, don't forget it, in the 150 years of doing this work, we will shift that life trajectory for the next 150 years. For the members of the class of 2036, stay with me. The class of 2036, Mission Possible, this year's 4-year-olds, where we must always invest in them even now. We stand behind that work and every year to follow, not excluding the class of 2023 and subsequent years. And so as the very proud superintendent of Atlanta Public Schools who ran up here with energy like no other, because as a practicing superintendent, as a mother, as a citizen of Atlanta, as a Georgia Peach, I understand more than anything else that we cannot do this work alone. And when your mayor and your city make it clear that this is the year of the youth and you can see clearly how that will change everything we do, you and you, all of us are now on task and on charge to be able to say at the close of 2023 and every subsequent year, and I had you practice it, so let me close out with it on 3. 1, 2, 3. All the children. There we go. Yes, sir.
Good morning. My name is Janine Lewis, and I am the Senior Director of Youth Engagement. This is a great day. I'm going to serve as your mistress of ceremonies for the rest of the morning, and I'd like to bring up one of our first partners for the ATL Year of the Youth, the CEO of the Urban League of Greater Atlanta, Ms. Nancy Flake Johnson.
Thank you, Janine. Thank you, Mayor Dickens, Courtney, and all of you in this room. It's a good morning, and it is a joy and an honor for the Urban League to stand as a partner of the city in the launch of a rededication to youth in 2023. Because we know we can't do everything that needs to be done in 12 months, but we can make significant strides toward the goals we seek together. While there are many of us that dedicate every day of our lives to bettering our children's futures, folks, it's just not enough. And we know it's not enough because there's persistent and widespread poverty, struggle, gun violence, mass incarceration of Black and brown youth and young adults, and too little hope. But we have bright spots to celebrate, and we are here because we have to embrace those conditions exist in order to move us forward for positive change. For all that Atlanta and the state of Georgia are and offer, our state is ranked #1 for business for 9 consecutive years. That's a good thing, y'all. Yes, it is. But we also rank in the top 10 states for poverty. Reconcile how we can be #1 for business and rank almost #1 for poverty. There is a disconnect between what's happening in the state house and what's happening on the ground with our families and our youth. The state of Georgia also ranks #1 for something else, and it's mass incarceration. Per capita, the state of Georgia incarcerates more people than any democratic country in the world. This is the state that's #1 for business. We need to be #1 for the children, right? We need to be #1 for our citizens and our small businesses in our neighborhoods and our communities. And then we will achieve our goals. Because of these and other conditions, we have the greatest income inequality, and we are one of the most challenging places for economic mobility. And we believe, as Mayor Dickens does, that we can, we will, and we must do better by youth and families in Atlanta. So to do so, we must understand that a lot of the struggles and the crime and the violence that we see has root causes. It isn't going to change with simply increasing incarceration sentences and building more prisons and being harsher on crime. We know we don't want crime in our communities, but you have to get to the question, why are so many of the people having to turn to desperate behavior and being plagued with mental illness? It's the conditions that are present. So with Mayor Dickens leading the way with the launch of the Year of the Youth, a rededication to youth and families, we are grateful to administer the Mayor's Youth Development Grant Program and work with these amazing grassroots, on the ground, doing it every day organizations that we respect and honor by investing more in their work. Because more of our children need what you have to offer and that you bring. So the League brings our 102 years of experience administering programming for youth, adults, families, and small businesses, and we bring and will share that experience with every organization that needs to build their capacity so they can learn more and get bigger grants and serve more of our children. Our mission directly aligns with the Year of the Youth. We exist to meet people where they are, to evaluate their needs, to equip them with what they need to tap into their talents and dreams and help them thrive. And you are invited to join us. After all, isn't that the Atlanta way? In closing, the Urban League commits, just in the early stages, that we are going to be one of the city's most significant partners. We are here to continue our collaboration with WorkSource Atlanta and Atlanta Housing with our Youth Build program. Folks, if you have 18 to 24-year-olds that don't have a GED or high school diploma, they have an interest in nursing, IT, or construction, send them our way. They will be on their way to livable wages and beyond in good lives. We will continue our partnership with our Young Adult Reentry Program and Atlanta Technical College and the city to support young people that have already been connected to the juvenile justice system, but have a second chance to embark on a life that they deserve. And we will continue our work with the Atlanta Public Schools and our Project Ready College and Career Program to ensure that students graduate on time, ready for college careers and life. And we will continue our work with the Guaranteed Income Program that provides $500 a month to low-income families. That helps the children. And finally, we anticipate there will be many, many more opportunities for collaboration with the city and you and all of you. So please know, Mayor Dickens, you have a steadfast and committed partner in the Urban League of Greater Atlanta. We know that the launch of the Year of the Youth is just the beginning of our work, and we will do this work together. I want to give a shout out to the Urban League of Greater Atlanta team. If you all will jump up, if you all have any needs, emergency assistance, employment opportunities, housing, jump up, y'all. Don't be shy. You tap into one of those awesome professionals who are committed to this work. The time is now. You are the leader for this moment. And thank you for standing on your promise of creating circles, because it's working. And we will achieve and be able to say authentically in the future, all the children and the families are well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nancy Flake Johnson, CEO of the Urban League. As a note, because this is special, those of you with nonprofits understand that there are administrative costs. So we want to make sure that you understand that the complete $1 million grant that the mayor has donated to the Urban League for the Youth Development Grant Program, 100% of that is going to the micro grants. And we want to thank the Blank Foundation for covering the administrative costs for the Youth Development Grant Program. And we also have one of our managing directors for the Year of the Youth, a partner who has already signed on, Elena Rains. Good morning, and thank you for joining our circle. Next up, I'd like to bring up Mindy Benderman. She's the Executive Director of GEARS, which is the Georgia Early Education Alliance for Ready Students.
Thank you, Janine and Courtney. And Mayor Dickens, thank you for your partnership. Your commitment to Atlanta's youngest citizens, its children ages birth to 5, is built of an understanding of the importance of early brain development, a love for children, and a vision for the future of our city. You made history last year when you committed city funds for early learning at your State of the City address, and you challenged APS and the private sector to contribute as well. And we're so pleased to partner with you and be the managers to implement your $20 million early childhood education initiative. This initiative sits on a foundation of investments by the Joseph B. Whitehead Foundation, the United Way of Greater Atlanta, and others. It follows a strategy that was launched 5 years ago when Gears convened leaders from both the public and the private sectors who, led by our chair, Stephanie Blank, immersed themselves in the challenges faced by Atlanta's families and educators and delivered solutions to close the gap between the Atlanta of today and the Atlanta we all envision for tomorrow. This collective impact effort, which we call PACT, Promise All Atlanta Children Thrive, has a shared vision, bold and actionable strategies, and now, thanks to Mayor Dickens' leadership, the funding and the citywide commitment needed to sustain this work to ensure that all children in Atlanta can reach their full potential. The first 5 years of a child's life are the most important for healthy development and long-term well-being. Quality early learning and care helps address the long-standing injustices in our communities and is a proven solution to break the cycle of intergenerational poverty. Children who experience high-quality early care and education programs are more likely to read on grade level, graduate from high school, complete degrees in higher education, and earn higher wages. And so, the Year of the Youth starts with the most youthful of all, the babies. Gears and our PAC partners are using the $20 million early childhood investment to make capital improvements to licensed child care programs around the city, those who serve our children most in need. We're using it to improve the quality of literacy instruction and business operations and make scholarships available to children whose parents work in targeted roles and live in targeted neighborhoods. And we want to help recognize the important role of our early educators, the teachers of our children, with teacher bonuses. We're ready to make this Year of the Youth a success in partnership, in group partnership with that group project you talk about all the time. Partners like the Y, Sheltering Arms, Quality Care for Children, the Speech School, Atlanta Public Schools, the City Council, the Reinvestment Fund, Atlanta Rotary, LIF, and many, many others. We're ready to sustain this work for future generations, and we're ready to partner with all of you. Thank you so much.
So we're getting the babies taken care of. So Mindy has just told you what we're doing for the kids who are not even school age yet. And Chairman of Operation Hope, our partner, Mr. John Hope Bryant, is here to let you know that we are taking care of our kids in APS once they enter kindergarten, and he's going to talk to you a little bit about our expanded initiative to expand the child savings account. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John Hope Bryant.
God is good, isn't he? I'm sorry, I'm from the black church. I'm used to seek and respond. The reason I'm so excited is I have never experienced, other than maybe my mentor, Ambassador Andrew Young, who sends his regards today, I've never experienced a more data-centric, fact-based, but inspiring mayor of any city in America, and we are in 46 states, Operation Hope, than our mayor, Andre Dickens. It's an important, yes, it's an important set of characteristics because you want to be PhD and PhD too. You can use that.
I'm gonna use that.
So Courtney and Janine, Dr. Herring, we got some work to do and not just some talk to do. I come to you bearing facts. I like math because it doesn't have an opinion. Here's the math. We started a program in Atlanta Public Schools to bring child savings accounts to kindergarten children who are at the lowest socioeconomic rung. Some people scratch their heads, maybe. The city made an investment. Operation Hope made an investment. Press release went out. As you know, a lot of this stuff happens and on to the next. 1 year later, here's where we are. There's about 50,000 kids, give or take, in Atlanta Public Schools. Cohort 1, 2,911 savings accounts established. Oh, I'm not done. This is 1 year. Cohort 2, Janine, you should feel good about this. 2,759 savings accounts established. Within 1 year, we have exceeded 10% of all kids in Atlanta public schools who have a savings account for their future. 5,760 young bright lights in kindergarten. We anticipate another 2,500 this year. We've already invested $264,925 into those accounts, deposited into those accounts in their own name. No one else can take that money from them. Real talk. Real talk. We all know what happens. And we're now starting to see a cultural shift in the families. The parents are now starting to contribute money into the accounts themselves. Why is this important? We sit here in the moral capital of America, Atlanta, Georgia, a place that has played history-making since the beginning of this country, certainly since the Civil War. First Reconstruction, freedom. That war, that battle was waged here and won here in Atlanta, Mr. Mayor, you know that. You've schooled me, by the way. The only mayor I know who knows credit scores. I'm gonna get to that in just a second, how important that is. He schooled me on this. Lincoln couldn't have won re-election without the Battle of Atlanta. Second Reconstruction, Civil Rights era. Access, so freedom, access, and the third Reconstruction, a period I believe we're in right now, and the mayor is leading in this historic time. History does not feel historic when you're sitting in it. It just feels like another day. But that does not mean the moment is not, in fact, historic. Are you with me? Yeah. We're gonna have some church up in here today. Are you with me? Yeah. The Bible suggests be hot or be cold. If you're lukewarm, I'll spat you out. Translation, even God doesn't like mediocrity. Are you with me? Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. The third Reconstruction is opportunity. It's from 2020 to 2030, under this mayor's reign. Let me tell you why this matters. Atlanta's the 10th largest economy in the US, up from almost nothing. Larger economy than 25 US states. The city of Atlanta is larger than the economy of 25 individual US states. But we can't keep this going on hope alone. Our children are the bench strength of the playoff games of the rest of our lives. Think about the NFL team you love, or the NBA team you love, or the baseball team you love. That bench strength gets cultivated early in elementary school, in middle school. And am I talking to myself? What are we doing with our academic minds? What are we doing with our math minds? What are we doing to build the new generation of contributors and taxpayers and voters in this city? That doesn't happen by accident. It happens because you're intentional. This program is intentional. This year of the youth that the mayor has stood up is intentional. Last point about what happens when you're intentional. Mayor, you know the story. I grew up in Compton, California. I'm 9 years old, for what grade that is. Banker comes to my classroom. We're going to do financial literacy, by the way, around the savings accounts. You like that idea? So I'm in school, kid, and this banker walks up to me, having to be Caucasian, blue suit, white shirt, red tie. I said, he's teaching financial literacy. I said, sir, what do you do for a living? And how'd you get rich legally? It's okay. You can be honest. I mean, it's the truth. There's no skyscrapers in my neighborhood I grew up in. How'd you get rich legally? He said, I'm a banker and I finance entrepreneurs. I said, sir, I don't know what an entrepreneur is. I've never heard that word my entire life. But if it's legal and you're financing it, I'm going to be one. Why am I an entrepreneur today? Because that happened to me when I was 9 years old. I got a savings account and a checking account and financial literacy and entrepreneurship lessons and somebody to mentor me. Watch how you live your life. It may be the only Bible that anybody else reads. And because of that, I run Operation Hope Today, which is the largest in the world, based here in Atlanta. And when I came here this morning, 2 young people, Mayor, walked up to me. I don't know how they are. They looked at me, 7, 9, with suits, suited and booted. One girl, one guy, with their business card and their product in their hand, trying to sell me something at a press conference. Hold on. Sell me something legal. Isn't that what we want? We want our kids to want a hand up and not a handout. We want our kids to say, I can be anything and everything I want to be. Not just cash the check, write the check. Come on now. We have got to create the world that we profess to want to be and to see, and that happens with intentionality. It happens what Dr. Herring is doing every day in these classrooms. Here's one last fact. The mayor came to me about credit scores. We're going to talk about this later on in the year. Do you know if you live in a 580 credit score neighborhood, you live to 61? If you live in a 700 credit score neighborhood in Atlanta, you live to 81. I'm going to do this again. Nothing else, no other variables, just listen to me now. You live in a 580 credit score neighborhood in Atlanta, you live to 61. You don't even make it to a retirement age to get your Social Security that you paid into. Are you listening to me? If you live to 81, you live in a 700 credit score neighborhood, we know where these neighborhoods are. You live to 81. In the 580 credit score neighborhood, high school completion rate, 60%. 700 credit score neighborhood, completion rate, 94%. Home ownership rate in 580, 40%. Home ownership rate in 700, 60 to 65%, which is wealth creation. If all we do, I love data, if move the credit score 100 points, you change Atlanta, you stabilize the whole city. This is the mayor's vision. I'm following his lead. Nothing changes your life more than God or love than moving your credit score 120 points. I'm done.
All right, we're going to keep this party going. I would like to mention that what you've heard of are the investments we're doing for our littlest ones so that when they become our biggest ones, they are fully funded and ready to go and ready to step into adult life. But we've got to focus on that middle school level. Research shows us from Stanford University that at the middle school level, that's when black boys, Latino boys, and black girls lose their sense of self-worth. So we've got a plan for the elementary school kids. But we're going to bring up a few folks who are working specifically at the middle school level. They will be pushing into Atlanta Public Schools. We want to thank our partners, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and Next Level Boys Academy, Kwame Johnson and Gary Davis, who are coming together to create a mentoring cohort so that if young Courtney simply needs someone, a father figure, to hang out with on the weekend, we've got him. But if young Courtney, if young Courtney is having a couple of issues with the law, we've got him too. This is a group project. Now I'd like to bring up Kelly Stewart of Lead Center for Youth to tell you a little bit about what she does, and know that Kelly is a major, major partner, but she is one of very, very many small community-based organizations that we will be supporting to make sure that they get their work to the students that they're already building relationships with. Kelly Stewart, everyone.
All right, so let me see who's in the room. Hey-o! So y'all were scrubbing the ground with me back in the day. That's all right. So I am Kelly Stewart, the co-founder and executive director of Lead Center for Youth, known as LEAD in the community. To Mayor Dickens, thank you for your continued support of LEAD since our founding back in 2007, and thank you for including us in this critical moment today. We are a sports-based youth development organization, and we use the sport of baseball to teach 250 black boys in Atlanta Public Schools how to overcome what we call 3 curveballs that threaten their success. That's crime, poverty, and racism. SBYD is the intentional use of sports to break down the various barriers that prevent marginalized youth from having access to the resources they need to live sustainable lives of significance and success. For boys who complete our programming, 100% graduate from high school, 91% enroll into college and receive scholarships, and 10% go on to serve in the military and enter the workforce or pursue entrepreneurship. And I want to stop at those stats to say we are a sports-based team, so stats matter. When you walk into Mercedes-Benz Stadium, what you looking for? The scoreboard. You want to see who's winning. But this winning is not done without teamwork. I want to shout out our partner in empowerment, Atlanta Public Schools. Through their Office of Athletics, Mr. Rendell Jackson, Mr. Jasper Jewell, Mr. Corey Collier, we have been working with APS since 2010. So this is a long relationship that we have had. I also want to say that as my husband, co-founder and chief visionary officer, CJ Stewart, would say, you cannot have fun without funding. So I want to shout out Georgia's Own Credit Union, Google, and Adidas, who have been there with us for a long time and who have poured into our students. And all of our funding goes to Atlanta Public School students only. We don't serve any other student athletes. Yes. So I'm a Georgia Baptist baby. I'm really not sure if that's a thing or not, but I am. And my husband, CJ Stewart, he's a Grady baby, which at the time he was born meant that you were most likely 2 things, black and poor. Born to a teenage mom and a young dad, his family had to navigate the same issues of crime, poverty, and racism that our families are having to navigate today. But through an integrated system of support that included Atlanta Public Schools, he will tell you that he took his first plane ride at, tell me, baby, I'm sorry, Grove Park Elementary. He took his first plane ride. He also had perfect attendance, K through 8. His mama was like, I don't care about them sniffles, you going to school today. So through an integrated system that included Atlanta Public Schools, his church, Elizabeth Baptist Church, and various baseball teams that he played on, including Cascade Youth Organization, where he played for the CYO Braves under the leadership of Coach Emmett Johnson and Coach Joshua Butler. CJ's family was equipped to help him overcome these curveballs, and it gave him the foundation and the social capital to become a dedicated servant leader in Atlanta today. That goes back to what you say, Mr. Mayor, about this being a group project. I share my husband's story with you today to say that all is not lost. The last few years, and certainly most recently with the tragic losses of youth in our community, it's easy to feel hopeless and helpless. But I'm here to tell you today that this very press conference is a now or never moment as it pertains to our youth. We have in our mayor, Mayor Dickens, a leader who has prioritized our youth in such a way that is urgent and that is imperative. We as the community have to maximize and follow this level of priority with action. In addition to lead and raising expectations, there are other community-based grassroots orgs out there who need your time, talent, and treasure to help them be in the lives of our youth on a daily basis. Art in the Paint, Atlanta Youth Soccer Foundation, and Helping Empower Youth, known as HEY in the community, just to name a few. We all need you. The time is urgent and critical for our youth. The time is now for our youth. And as a demonstration that we're all in, I want y'all to huddle up. If you played on a sports team, you ain't got to stand up. You can do it where you are. If you played on a sports team, you know when you get in the huddle and you get ready to end practice or you get ready to begin practice. So you're going to huddle up with the people near you, and I'm going to count us off. And on the count of three, we're going to say ATL. Everybody with me? Yeah. All right, here we go. ATL on three, ATL on three. 1, 2, 3, ATL. Thank you.
I know we said this was a press conference, but really it's a pep rally for our kids. So 1, 2, 3, ATL, everybody. 1, 2, 3. ATL. I'm excited. Next, I'd like to bring up another valued partner. Kelly Stewart talked to you about what they're doing with baseball and resources for kids. I'm so excited. Next up, I'd like to bring up the Executive Director of Soccer in the Streets, Elijah Miranda.
Good morning, everyone. I'm just so humbled to be in this room and be in this space with you all. I was told by my team that this was going to be a press conference. This is actually more of a celebration than anything else. It's incredible to hear about all the energy and all the works that are happening in our community. First of all, I would like to thank the mayor. I'd like to thank the city of Atlanta for the amazing ongoing support of the initiatives at Soccer in the Streets. Many of you are probably familiar with our station soccer, the pitches that we've built at several MARTA stations. And that's something that, as a new resident to Atlanta, I'm literally 3.5 weeks into being an Atlanta resident. So thank you for the welcome. Just seeing all the, thank you, yes, thank you. And it's just been unbelievable to just witness the amazing work that is happening across this city. I've heard so many amazing things about Atlanta. I grew up in Columbus, Georgia, and went to the University of Georgia, moved to New York City, and go Dogs. Spent 8 years in New York City, and then moved to Thomasville, Georgia, just north of Tallahassee. So I've been in a rural area, I've been in a metropolitan area. But something about this energy that's in Atlanta is something that is amazing to be a part of. The work of Soccer in the Streets is something that is really important to what we're trying to do in our city, providing opportunities for youth. It's something that, what I see, my background is in public health, and what I've seen is that there is this intersection of physical health and mental health, right? And it is so important that we begin to address the issues around children's mental health. And as we continue to work with different organizations, one of the things that I've been able to see in the short time that I've been at Soccer in the Streets is this amazing collaboration between private private and public partners. So working with the city of Atlanta, working with MARTA, working with other nonprofits. I think that really leverages the work that we're trying to do and accomplish. As we move into the next year, this year, 2023, that for me definitely aligns with what I've done in my professional career. I've always wanted to be an advocate for youth. I've always wanted to work around children and giving them an opportunity for growth. And so oftentimes we have to be the voice for our children. And so hearing all these amazing organizations share what it means to do this work, to impact the children of Atlanta is something incredible and amazing to be a part of. The mayor mentioned all these amazing things, the recognitions of Atlanta. One of the most amazing things that is going to happen in this city is that not only is it going to be in the spotlight in our country, but actually in the world, right? Because in 2026, okay, the FIFA World Cup is going to be here in Atlanta. So that's amazing. And so to be part of an organization that is using soccer to provide this community-based youth development is something that is hugely important. Working with our staff, working with schools, working with after-school programs, one of the things that we're trying to do is provide more of a social and emotional learning initiative with our children. It's so important that they understand the concepts that you learn by working with a team, conflict resolution, problem solving. And I've been able to witness this over the last several weeks. And so I'm just so excited to be here to share just the amazing work that we get to do at Soccer in the Streets. This being part of the Youth Development Grant, we're excited about working with children in Southwest Atlanta, especially in and around the West End Station. It's been a joy kind of getting to know this city little by little and just seeing all the amazing partners that we have here in Atlanta as we continue to do this work. And so, again, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for the incredible welcome, and I look forward to getting to know more of you, and go ATL. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miranda. I told you earlier that my name is Janine Lewis, and I'm the Senior Director of Youth Engagement. I'm the city's first ever Senior Director of Youth Engagement. And I asked my parents to be here. Hi, parents. I asked my parents to be here not just to accompany me at work, but because when I was in undergrad at Georgia State University, I interviewed my father for a class project. And he told me about growing up in New York City and how in the springtime, all of the kids who wanted safe spaces and opportunities knew to go down to workforce development, and my father had a job every summer. There's always room on the corner. The VIP list, the RSVP list at the corner is always open. We've got to replace communities for young people. It's not enough to get one child into a great program. We've got to move their entire youth community into great programs. My parents started an early learning center in our home. And so each morning before going to school, I helped prepare the lunches for the kids. Might have been 5 or 6 of them. But when I left for school, they were learning their ABCs and singing Lift Every Voice and Sing. And Mayor, you don't know this, but a few years ago during quarantine, I don't know if we remember that, we were on an app and you reconnected me with Arshel Bernard, who was one of those pre-K students that learned how to read in my basement. Arshel Bernard is an entrepreneur that has a clothing store in Ponce City Market.
Yeah.
Come on, everybody. So before I close out, I want to let you know how you can get involved with Year of the Youth. There are a few key details that you need to know. But before I move on, Mayor Dickens, thank you. Thank you for centering children. Thank you for being a servant leader. Thank you for displaying a masterclass in true partnership and extending your hand authentically and open across Trinity Avenue so that we can finally, for the first time in my existence, have a true partnership with our Atlanta public schools. The city and the public schools, the nonprofit communities, the business communities, and our funding communities, our parents, our children, our young adults are all connected, and you've done that. Thank you. Atlanta, our team spent an entire year meeting with students, parents, concerned citizens, senior residents, nonprofit partners, and even the U.S. Secretary of Education. ATL Year of the Youth is designed for children, youth, and young adults from birth to age 24. The initiative is founded on core principles that prioritize equitable engagement. So what that means is we know that there are a lot of students who will be in our after-school programs. We know that there are a lot of students who may be unsheltered and may not be online and know how to get to the after-school programs. We're going to be intentional, Dr. Herring, in making sure that the programs that we roll out, the teachers and students in APS have first grab, first dibs, because this is for them. Yeah, you can clap for that. One of the core principles of Mayor Dickens' ATL Year of the Youth initiative is enrichment and development, education and access, with the ultimate goal of developing young, thriving, and informed, empowered residents who are proud to call Atlanta home. This year, with our partners, named by Mayor Dickens and discussed today, we're bringing back the Summer Youth Employment Program. We're expanding midnight basketball. We're working with partner Lonnie Johnson in creating gaming and esports initiatives. We're creating a youth volunteer corps, so Dr. Herring, those students who need those volunteer credits to graduate, they'll be volunteering with our community-based organizations. We will be offering opportunities for young people to learn about urban agriculture, nutrition, and food science. Our friends from Local Green Atlanta are here with us today. Our friends from Gooder are here with us today, and we're not stopping there. We are also creating an ATL Year of the Youth Junior Communications Corps so that young people who are in school or have a knack for the visual arts, the graphic arts, the performing arts, will document everything that we do. They will document how our partners engage with young people. They will report. They will create podcasts. And if they want, they'll be able to have an internship here in City Hall with our communications department. If you know young people who want to get involved, there are banners here, but you can go to atlyearoftheyouth.com and sign up. If you are a partner who wants to get involved, go to atlyearoftheyouth.com and sign up. If you are a parent who wants to stay connected, go to atlyearoftheyouth.com and sign up. If you are a funder, go to atlyearoftheyouth.com. And finally, if you are a funder, C.J. Stewart said there's no fun without funding. If you are a funder and want to get involved, go to atlyearoftheyouth.com. All of those registrations, emails come directly to our desks. This is the launch, but this is a call to action. If you want to be involved, go to atlyearoftheyouth.com. We need you, our children need you, and by the end of this year, this is a launch. By the end of this year, we won't need an ATL Year of the Youth because it'll be our culture to always consider the children. I'm gonna pass it back to our mayor because I think we've had church today. We have church, temple, synagogue, a little meditation, all that today. This was a press conference, but this is a pep rally to make sure that you all know to go to atlyearoftheyouth.com and sign up because our kids need you. We will see you on the ground. We will see you in the C-suites. We'll see you on the soccer field, the baseball field, and in the cooking classes. Thank you all for coming. I'm going to hand it back over to our mayor, Mr. Andre Dickens.
Thank you. All right, yeah, come on up. I know those faces, little entrepreneurs right there. Thank you, Janine, for your leadership and for all that you guys have done today. Thank you to these partners behind me, these youth, as well as these organizations, these great pillars in our community, to all of you. Now, I got a few final things to say. One is they knew that we was having this and didn't tell the mayor about the sneaker policy. All them that spoke had on sneakers to announce the Year of the Youth, did not tell me. I got sneakers. I would have been cool too. That's all right. I'm gonna go home in a minute and get my sneakers. We have lots of people here to thank. I see all of you. I see you. I see you came. I see you are participating. I see you are a part of this village. I see you. This city sees you. We thank you. We know that you're out here doing the work, and we know that you want to continue to draw the circle wider to make sure that we're all included. So I've looked at each of you. I see you. I thank you for what you've been doing, and now together we will do even more. So again, I see you, and I acknowledge that you are you are helping our village grow wider and wider. We have chiefs of police here, chiefs of fire here, chiefs of correction here. They are participating in the Year of the Youth. We have our international and immigrant affairs that are here. They are participating in Year of the Youth because all children matter. Our LGBTQ affairs office is here. Malik, all children matter. We have Fulton County here. They are a partner. Yes, this is the Year of the Youth in the city of Atlanta, but what happens to the heartbeat goes to all the veins and capillaries and arteries across this region. So Fulton County is here. They are a funder. I thank you. AP, yeah, we can clap for everybody. Clap for all the above. Our Office of Constituent Services are here. They get so many calls from parents trying to get a meal or something to help their kids. Our Office of Constituent Affairs Services are here. Our law department is here, who has hired so many youth during the summer that want to be lawyers. The world's busiest and most efficient airport is here. They hired over 100 kids this summer for internships. Mayor's Office of Violence Reduction is here to teach kids about healing and anti-retaliation and other tactics are here. Of course, our Department of Parks and Rec are here, who's going to carry a whole lot of this load. I see you, Nick. I see you, Commissioner Cutler. Well, I did see you. Oh, there you are, Commissioner Cutler and Ms. Slade. I see all of you guys. Atlanta Housing is here. So many of our youth are housed in Atlanta housing properties, and they have contributed greatly to scholarships, and they are participating in the Year of the Youth. Invest Atlanta is here to help with small businesses that will then hire kids to be able to work. They are here. Our clergy are here. Our churches, synagogues, and mosques and temples are here. Thank you all. You're going to be participatory in the Year of the Youth. All these art programs, the artists, the cultural affairs, Mayor's Office of Cultural Affairs is here. A lot of artists are here. I saw Najee somewhere around here from Zucot and others. Kids like the arts. Labor unions are here to be able to get kids trained in skills. Labor is important for these youth. Partners for Home and Emergency Preparedness that deals with our homeless, our kids that are experiencing homelessness. We're talking about all the children. They are here because they want to help in the Year of the Youth. I made notes, y'all, so bear with me. Our business community is here. We see you all. Thank you. I start calling out names. We got Amazon here. We got Georgia Power here. I saw some Microsoft in here, a few Google in here, and some others. I get in trouble. I don't mention everybody's name. If you're a business, big business, small business, wave your hand in the air because you're hiring people, and we need that. Thank you. Thank you guys for all that you do. And our city council is here. A number of them, I see Councilmember Lewis, I saw Councilmember Dozier, Westmoreland, Winston, I saw Hillis, Bakhtiari. This is an off day for city council. This is a fifth Monday, so they don't have session today. So that meant they came down here to be a part of the Year of the Youth. So thank you, city council members, for being here. They didn't have to do it, but they are in it too. I might have missed. I saw Byron Amos's office. Is there another council member? Yeah, I see Antonio Lewis. And Council President Doug Shipman, I saw him too. Yep. Anybody else I missed? I don't like to get in trouble with the city council. Who else? Anybody? If you're a city council member, you just say something, breathe, wink, blink. Yeah, I got all y'all. I got them. School board members are here, of course, APS and the school board, school chair, and all of you guys. Thank you. Film and entertainment is here. I see Falana. These kids they all want to be TikTok stars and make movies. We have programs for the youth here, our Production Set South program, where they learn how to work behind the camera as well. That's where some money is, y'all, by the way. So they learn that through Falana and her team, and on and on and on. There's a bunch of people here that's doing a bunch of stuff, and I ain't called all your names, but that's why I say I see you. I see you, Kelly Ross. I see you, Megan. I see you. And thank you. Last thing I'll say is, this occurred to me that the year of the youth is in me because when I was 16, I had the dream of becoming mayor. I was at Mays High School. The vision came clear to me. This is what I wanted to do with my life. I was 16. I was a youth. I was somebody that people had worked with. Southwest Atlanta Youth Business Organization taught me business. Parks and Rec taught me how to play baseball, football, basketball. I played at Cascade, CYO, Cascade Youth Organization. I played at Collier Park. I played at Perkinson Park. I played basketball, baseball, football because people put their arms around me. I went to church like Antioch and Mount Calvary and Greater New Life. My mama kind of moved me around a little bit because we like to get the gumbo of religion in the Baptist church. And so I got my rearing through the community of Atlanta because I had a village. I had a single mother. So she immediately put me in a village, say, go with these people in the afternoon. And when they don't have programs in the afternoon, go with these people in those other afternoons. Learn computer programming. I had a Commodore 64, and I learned how to program it through a program in this city. What I'm sharing is I benefited from the village that I decided to serve at 16. So you may be touching someone who wants to be you and decide that they then too want to be whatever, mayor, governor, dog catcher, as long as they're a good, upstanding citizen in this community. And so we need the village. We're gonna be all right on how to fill 10,000 potholes. We did that, we know how to do that. How to install 10,000 streetlights, made that goal, hit that, exceeded that. We know how to do the nuts and bolts of it, but raising a village, to raise a village, I can't just screw on a light bulb at the street light to solve that by itself. I can't just fill out a pothole. We're gonna have to love on folks, and love ought to look like something. Love ought to look like it, and this is what love is gonna look like out in our streets into Atlanta. And so, when we start greeting each other and we see each other and we say, how are the children? The goal is to say, all the children are well. How are the children? All the children are well. That's our goal in this 2023 Year of the Youth. Thank you all for being a part of this. It's good to see all of y'all.